the #1 movie worldwide was Indiana Jones and Last Crusade.
Oh yeah.
Which had been released a couple months earlier in May. Discuss.
What an interesting fact.
I've never heard of it. Yeah, it's like Last Crusade is funny because and again, like I saw everything way later, obviously when I was a little older. But I watched all three at once. Like I watched all three Indiana Jones movies when I saw them for the first time, and like I was so obsessed with Raiders. Like I thought it was so good, and so I actually like hated Last Crusade because I was like, oh, like Marcus Brody is so different. It's so like cheesy, and I just thought like I didn't like it as a kid, and I was like the only one because like so many people that's their favorite. And
do you think it's
now,
kind of like the Star Wars prequels? I think younger kids like the prequels, the newer movies?
I mean, maybe
more
it's
than
like
the
I think I was just a weird
Star
kid.
Wars?
But
You were a weird kid?
I guess I mean like I really liked Raiders, which is probably the most mature of the three. Like,
I mean,
it's the more
Raiders is the best one. So.
yeah, for sure. But it's just funny because revisiting them as an adult, like I can see why everyone loves Last Crusade because it does like I think Indiana Jones as a character is best defined in that. I think in Raiders, like you understand him more, the humor is better, like you get a little bit more of that, like, oh, like he's like wisecracking while he's in this super dangerous situation. Like I think that is the most like
you get the perspective of his dad.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's the problem. Like honestly, like I love Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think Indiana Jones is fantastic. I actually don't think he's much of a character, right?
Right.
I mean, he's a hat and a whip and some one-liners. Like, and when they try to bring into Last Crusade, like he's somebody's kid and he's got this weird family relationship. It just doesn't work. And it's the same thing with his son in the more recent movie. You know, where it's like I don't know that I need him to be related to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think it helps make him relatable. I think that's what they were going for. So I don't know. I'm conflicted on Last Crusade in a weird way.
It's funny that the third one though is the origin story of Indiana Jones.
Essentially,
I mean, the third one, what was supposed to be the last one, because they kind of thought about it as a trilogy first, but.
How dare you forget about young Indiana Jones?
But the third one is really the one that they're introducing a lot of, you know, where he got the name Indy, where he got his hat, why the whip becomes so iconic.
Yeah,
why he doesn't like snakes. Yeah.
They're all. It's funny because it's the easiest to rewatch. It's the most fun of them.
It does have great action sequences, particularly the tank sequence towards the end of the movie.
I would say it's also, maybe with the exception of the opening to Temple of Doom, like the entire gigantic, like falling down the waterfall and the raft and all that stuff. Like this one feels the most Spielberg too. Like if you look back at like his body of work, this one feels more, I think, indicative of like what he liked to do and how his movies are fun and like what made him like this gigantic like blockbuster success. Like I think this one is like the most palatable for big audiences. So it's like not surprising to me that it did that well. Because like Last Crusade is like a very easy movie to watch, even as a kid. Like you can make a young kid watch that movie, and even though there's violence in it, like they'll enjoy it.
Kids
probably
love
enjoy
violence.
it more, by the way.
Kids love violence.
I also really liked the LucasArts graphic adventure.
Yeah.
For Last Crusade.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. That was a great, you know, with all the little choices that you had at the bottom that you could pick. And
there was like a decoder that came in the box that you had to use to solve some of the puzzles in the game.